So the first time the War Memorial contacted me about potentially doing this residency, Alex Torrance from the art section emailed me and basically said we'd be interested in having a chat about this new program that the Australia Council's funding, and we'd like you to come in for a chat. And yeah, it was really exciting. I've always been interested in taking things that have a sort of ready-made cultural or political provenance or weights, and then using that as part of the material in the work. The first day I arrived, it was pretty overwhelming, I guess. I didn't really know what to expect. I was very nervous, probably. But yeah, everyone was really sort of welcoming straight away, and I had a lot of training lined up to kind of get into the system here and work out how to use the archives and the databases and kind of realise the enormity of the collection and the vast sort of scope of the archives. It was extremely daunting. You know, trying to pick out one little thing out of all these possibilities, it's hard because in every choice, you know, you choose one thing, you eliminate every other thing that you could do. And there are literally thousands of potentials. This book is really interesting. It's got a round lodged in it. The title of the book is The Taste of Courage, and there's a bullet that has been stopped by this book. It saved Second Lieutenant Graham David Skipton from serious injury in September 1971 in Vietnam. So it's interesting in the context of my project, as I guess these books representing like a kind of armour, and this is an actual kind of armour book that, you know, stopped a bullet. So it's interesting. I guess I'm really interested in the way that the military shapes minds and bodies, and the way it conditions bodies to become disciplined and functional within the kind of machine of the military. And I came across the Chief of Army's reading list, which is a prescribed sort of list of texts for officers, sort of theory, strategy, politics, that kind of thing. And I was really interested in this as a kind of pre-curated list of texts that would represent an ideal military mind and an actual volume of mind in the physical kind of quantity of these books. So I've sort of thought of this list of books as almost like a cognitive armour, that someone equipped with this knowledge of all these books would be this kind of superior human, I guess, in a way, for the military. I guess as a media artist, the media component of this project, I'm scanning one helmet in particular, which kind of happened by accident, but it's Ben Roberts-Smith's helmet, who's a VC from Afghanistan, an SAS soldier that was awarded a Victoria Cross. So I'll be doing a 3D scan of his helmet, and from that creating sort of carbon copies, but out of the material of these books. This knowledge would kind of form an armour, and using the books to kind of, the transformation of these books into a helmet. And I guess because of the way that the War Memorial collects objects, they don't just collect any object, often they have to be kind of linked to a specific event or person or story. And there's always a kind of personal element to it. And obviously this soldier is an ideal kind of soldier. He's, you know, the pinnacle of what the army produces. So his helmet is obviously extremely symbolic, and it's kind of very lucky that I've had the chance to use it in this artwork. So this is a test, basically, casting shredded up paper in urethane. If this didn't work, then the whole project wouldn't have worked, basically. But we found that this will give you an idea, I guess, of what it will look like. It's a heart shape at the moment. That's just what the mould was, so we can ignore that. But you can see how the paper's pretty much embedded in there, and you can see the text quite clearly. And it's quite a hard object. It feels like rock. It sets. I've had a lot of good advice from Nick over in the out at Mitchell, who's a paper conservator, and he's been giving me a lot of advice about the chemistry of paper and the way that paper reacts to different chemicals and all that sort of stuff. So lots of little bits of help from people like that have made all this kind of possible. So I've been toying with different ideas about how I'm going to destroy the books. Obviously there's a very sort of loaded history of destroying books as well, but in this context I think it's not so much destruction as sort of transformation. So the books are becoming their true essence, I guess, that this work would almost release that idea into its true form. This work won't be finished probably until next year. It's quite a large work, and it's sort of definitely bigger than anything I've ever done before. So in that sense, there is a kind of element of pride, I guess, attached to it, but I wouldn't want to preempt it because it might not work yet. I guess I focus on military themes and military systems in my work because as a media artist, I guess I've been looking into the history of technology and I've sort of, it's well documented that it's most technologies come from the military, and the possibilities that you have from looking at these kinds of ideas through art are much bigger than just any kind of traditional way, I think. If people can walk away with a few ideas in their head or, you know, some questions, that's, I guess, the best thing. I never kind of want to impose anything on any viewer, but if you can open up a conversation or a dialogue or some questions, then that's the best thing you can hope for.